Hi everyone. Today we are here to have a look at an amazing app for creating materials and interact with your students. It's called EdCafe. You can go to app.edcafe.ai. You can create an account for free. You can still do a lot of stuff even with the free version. It allows you to discover very well the app. At the moment, I have this account where I just create one slide deck. I created this slide deck from a screenshot. So I had a screenshot of the final chapter of a unit. At the end, there is the recap of grammar that has been studied in that unit. I wanted something that it's a little bit more engaging. So what I did, I took a screenshot of the final chapter of this summary of the chapter, and I gave it to the AI inside EdCafe, and asking to create a slide deck just to give me the main information, some pictures, and what it created is this 10 slide deck. Now, some pictures are perfect, like this one. This one is really perfect for what is being described. Other pictures, I might have to replace them. For example, here is describing the verbs, but it shows a picture that only have the first verb completely conjugated. The other one is conjugated for half, and the other one is not conjugated at all. So I will have to change the image, and then so forth and so forth. Mm. And it's a nice visual way to explain the same thing with a little bit more details and a little bit clearer. Of course, you can always edit the slide, and a very good thing is that you can export them. So there are some places where they promise you amazing slides, but then you cannot take them out. So you are bound to that website, and you are less willing to produce material on that website because you know that you will not be able to take it with you one day if you want to. But here they allow you to bring it to PowerPoint or to Google Slide. So you can also assign the slides to your student. When you click on assign, you see you have a QR code that participant can scan and get here. You can copy the direct link, you can post it on Google Classroom or in Microsoft Teams. Let's create a slide deck together so we can see how it works. So I go in create new. The create new is always here on the left, but also if you are inside your library is here on the top right. So I'll go and create a new activity. As you can see, I have a few things to choose from. There is the planning, where I have my slide deck, but I also have teacher resources as a lesson plan. Then I have teacher and learning materials, where I have the chat box, very useful. I will show you how to use it later on. Flashcards, AI images, speeches, summary note, reading activity. Even the reading activity is a very nice activity, and we will go through it later. Assessment, where you have quiz, YouTube quiz, and assignment grader. Let's try with the slide deck. So I'm going here. I here to create the slide deck. You do have a tutorial here that can help you in case you get lost. But now, just to show you how it works, I can give it a topic or copy and paste the text that I already have, use a web page or use a file. For the one that we saw before, where I used the screenshot, I of course uploaded the file, the screenshot. In this example, I will use a web page, an article. So I have this Medical Research Foundation, climate change and health. So I want to copy this one because my class will be on climate change. So I'll paste it here, my link. If I want, I could also copy all the text of the article and paste it here. Or topic, I could describe a topic and then let the AI figure it out. Under the additional instruction, I will have to say what I want out from this. So I can ask to create a slide deck based on my need. So please create a slide deck from the article. Each slide must discuss one of the article's topics clearly using bullet points and highlighting the main information. Also, add some relevant pictures. At the end, create a glossary of the most important words, and after that, a vocabulary list with a translation in Italian. As you can see here, I have to choose the amount of slide. I choose between 10 and 15. The language, as I said, I keep it in English, but there are plenty languages that you can choose from. So that's why this is very useful when you want to teach languages, because there is a lot of languages that you can choose from. We have the theme to choose now, because we're talking about environment, we're talking about climate change. I'm trying to find something like the floral, let's say, but you can choose from plenty themes. There are always new that come out, and if you don't like any of those, or you want something light, then you have exactly the light theme. And then let's generate the slide deck. Now, I realized that while I was scrolling, I actually clicked on one of the different teams. So it is now creating with the different team that than the floral one. But good that that happened, because actually in this way I can show you that if you made a mistake like this, you can still revert back. Actually, this is actually pretty nice as a theme. But let's say that we go back to floral. And here it is. So from here, I switch to the theme floral. Now, here we have our main starting page. As you can see, it divided everything, made it bold with the main information, has a very nice picture, probably taken from the article itself. Yes. So it's reusing the pictures that were in the article. And here we are. But as you can see, because probably it's still the same topic and then they didn't have enough images, is reusing the same image over and over. Let's go in this one, health impacts on extreme heat, for example. So I click on the picture and I have the choice of searching a new one, create an image with AI, or upload the one that I have. Now, here, let's search for one, extreme heat, because that's what we're talking about in the slide. And we can put this thermometer, actually with the sun is nicer, it's less scary. Then here we have again this one, so air pollution and respiratory health. Let's see what we can create with the image. Air pollution. And as you can see here, it says choose a style photographic. But you can choose between digital painting, comic book, neon, old film, 3D model, line drawing, pixel art, fantasy art, origami. But there is a lot of things that we can choose from. At the moment, let's keep it photographic and let's keep these generic air pollution. Let's see what it's going to produce. Usually, when you produce an image, more description you give, better it is. But this one is a pretty standard one, and I think, as you can see, it works quite well. So let's put this one, insert this picture. Here we are. Okay, not bad. Again, we have this picture. So I will change all the pictures that are repeated. We have our glossary, and we have a vocabulary list, English, Italian. And if I'm not completely happy, I can still add slides. Once I'm happy with the product, I just click on save. I give it a name, so climate change. I add it to my library. I could choose a folder or create a folder inside my library if I want. And then I can make it public or private. If it's public, of course, everyone, all my teachers, my colleagues, they can access it. So for the moment, I'll keep it public. Click on save, and here we are with our slide deck that I can always export. Mm. Or if I want, I could translate it, rename it, of course. I can share it with the teacher. So be careful the difference between share and assign. Assign is when you give it to the student, or share, you just share it with your colleagues. Now we can move to create new things. And let's go to reading activity. That is extremely useful. So from the reading activity, I can do a few things, but let's try together to use an article again, like the paradox of horror, because now we are under Halloween, so I like this this type of articles. I go to web page, I put the web page, and here I have my article and my usual instruction. Can you please simplify the article for a student of English who has a level A2 in the European framework? Also include 5 vocabulary questions at the end with multiple choice answers. Now, this second part of the questions, I will show you now why I'm asking it here, but we also have the opportunity to add the questions later. But specifically for vocabulary, I like to insert it here in the instructions. Here you have the student level, but the student level always go with the American system of school. And in my case, because it's going to be in language exercise, and the level of the language it's more based on the European framework of A1, A2, B1, B2, C1, C2, then I put it inside the instruction rather than selecting the student level. Output language, of course, is English because at the moment we're still teaching English. I generate the activity. It made the whole text shorter and easier. I have these questions, but these questions, they are not questions that the student will be able to interact with and give me an answer. But I don't care because I just want them at the end of the reading to have a think about some of the vocabulary that they saw. And in here, I add the vocabulary. So they will have straight away the answer to those questions. So it's not something I'm testing them with, it's just something for have them thinking. And they can autocorrect by themselves. But then I will add a quiz. So adding the quiz, I want to have a mix of multiple choices and free text. And for the number of questions, I want, let's keep it simple for the moment, 5 questions. And I generate the quiz. And here I have my questions with the answer, with the explanation of why something is correct. Some are multiple choice, and some are open questions. So here we have 1 open questions at the end. And then I can add an audio. So the student, maybe instead of reading, I'm telling them to listen first and then read after. In this case, I will choose James' voice from United Kingdom. James is my name in English, so we like it, and we'll generate the audio. Okay, now the audio has been generated. As you can see, I can play it.
Many people think scary movies are only for fun or to make us jump with fear. But scientists have found that.
And here I can select also the speed. And in here, I can change the audio if I decide that I want another voice. You can edit the questions. You can add an image to the question you generated. Edit from here. And you can, of course, also edit this one. You can edit the explanation. So you can customize this question or help with the AI to regenerate it completely. Now, I'm happy with it, so I'll save it. I can assign it. And now that I can assign it, I'll show you. I click on assign. Let's say that I just copy the link rather than give a QR code. So my student will have this link. And without having to create an account, that's the activity. So they have the text, the audio, the questions that are not tested with the vocabulary that they can autocorrect, and then they have the quiz. To start the quiz, they will put their name, Giacomo F, and then they play the quiz. So at this point, they can answer all the questions. And here, test, and then submit the answers. Once they submit the answer, then the AI is reviewing their answers and will tell them, yeah, that's correct, great. But then also is incorrect. The correct answer was this one, and why was this one. And even in the free test, the AI will try to figure it out if my answer was correct and tell me the suggested answer, and um, tell me that what I said, it wasn't really on point. So as you can see here, I have all my result and 50% because two are correct and two are incorrect. Mm. So it is a pretty nice system that saves teachers so much time. And as a teacher, I can go then in responses, have a look. These are all the responses. They will be all listed one after the other in case more respondents. So I will have, I don't know, 5 people answer this one person answer that one, and then will also make me understand where the most people go. So if I have, for example, 10 people that made the same mistake, why that happened? Maybe there's something in the text that drives them off path. And then I can go in the single participant and check for the single participant what they did. So I go in Giacomo, for example, I click on Giacomo and I see exactly what Giacomo did, and I can double check. Mm? So, and then, of course, I can also download the report in case I have to give the report to someone, like to the student itself, or to whoever you wanted, or you wanted to keep it for your own record outside of the app. So now let's move on to another one of the things that we can create. And I want just to quickly show you the teaching resources, because although it says create teaching resources, is a little bit misleading because you're not really creating anything. These tools allow you to search online for resources. It is not a perfect tool, so it depends on what you're searching for. Sometimes it's more accurate than other times. So, for example, if I decided to teach perfect tense in English and I want some material, some resources, then I can try to find it, and it will look for articles, slides decks, videos, worksheets. So it is a good concept and it's useful. So you see, you have articles into the perfect tense in English. So now 5 articles. It gives you by default 5, and then you can search for more if you want. It gives you, some PowerPoint. It gives you videos about the present perfect and worksheet. So as you can see, with this topic, the research is perfect. My issue is when I'm trying to search for something more complicated. For example, I want to have a class and the topic I want to be, because we are in Halloween and I am teaching Spanish, let's say. So I'll go and find resources. Some of them are perfect. So Halloween, like celebration in South America, this is nice. Halloween celebration in Latin America. But then the eyes were watching God. Uh, Shocks, mistakes, and Florida. There are things that are not really on specific on what I actually. Some of them are on point. Some of them are less. But anyway, it's a good tool to have a rough search. And it's a little bit more easier than Google, because with Google, you don't have division of the type of resources that you might have. So I would say that use it, but always be mindful that you will have to double check what it gives you. And anyway, it's not in any form or shape a tool to create teaching resources. Now, another thing that I want to show you is the YouTube quiz. So YouTube quiz allows you to create quiz starting from a video on YouTube. This video. So I paste the link, and now I can say the type of questions, so just multiple choice, short answer, or a mix. Number of question, let's say 10. After selecting the number of question, I have additional instructions. I put the students are studying English at the B1 level of the European framework. I would like to test their comprehension of the video. As I said before, student level is about American schools, and so we are not really interested. And this point is still English because we are doing everything in English at this moment. And then generate YouTube quiz. And here we are with all the questions, with our explanation. Then I save, and it works exactly like the other quiz that I did that wasn't YouTube, it was a reading comprehension, but it works in the same way with assigning, export, edit, and all that kind of stuff that I can edit the questions, etc. Another thing that is very interesting is the AI. So if I have a text that I want to make an audio with, I can, you see, I can decide the pitch, the speed, and the voice. For example, if I decided that we were talking about women rights, then I have a text in Italian about women rights, and I will select Ben Multi, and then I'll generate the AI speak.
I diritti delle donne sono fondamentali per costruire una società equa e inclusiva.
I can download my file or simply save it. I'll put a name, this one, but I could use it as a sort of my own podcast to give to the student. So maybe every week I put a text that is read by the AI and assign it to my students to just. We can also create flashcards. So I want to create flashcards that are about universe, space program. So here I can select what type of flashcards I want, term and definition, question and answer, vocabulary, true and false. In this case, I'm interested in vocabulary. The front is the vocabulary word, the back, pronunciation, example, etc. Let's say 15 cards and generate. We have solar system, rocket, astronaut, space shuttle, or if I'm not happy, I can edit, I can add images inside. I always have the and then we go on. And this is what my student will see. Universe flashcards. We have shuffle cards, autoplay sound, swap front and back. Let's say autoplay sound, study flashcards.
Universe.
I can choose still learning or I. And when I get to the end, he will go back to the one that I still learning. So I can go through it and just revise the one that I'm still. Last thing I want to show you is the chatbot. The chatbot is my favorite feature. And here you just give the chatbot some instruction of what you want to do. Interact with a student of elementary level A1 in a European framework as if you were a shop assistant in a clothing shop. We click on create chatbot, and here you get the instruction for the chatbot. So you're a friendly and patient shop assistant in a clothes store. Speak simply and clearly to help an elementary level A1 student practice basic English related to shopping and clothes. And so here are all the rules. Guided step, greet the student, ask what type of clothing they're looking for, shop option for describing color, size, or simple style, and then some interaction guidelines and a greeting message. We can do, because we can click on capabilities and give more than one capabilities for the student to do. So they can use voice messages, they can upload a file. Let's say that they want to upload a picture of a cloth, they could, that they want to talk about. And this one, in this case, they are not particularly useful. But for example, if instead of a role play, we wanted to use the chatbot to give feedback to a writing task, simply they will upload a text and then ask to the chatbot to correct them. And also it would be able to correct something like a scan that it's a written homework. So not just something that is printed, but also something that is written, like handwritten. And then the most important thing is the knowledge. Well, the chatbot doesn't know what we taught to the student. So They might go to use vocabulary that we haven't taught them, and things like this. So what we can do, we can add knowledge. And if I add, for example, this file that is a list of vocabulary in clothing that I did with my students, now I have this knowledge in the chatbot, and I can ask the chatbot to use only this file, nothing else. So they will only be able to use this type of clothing that I taught to the student and not going crazy with other things that we might not have discussed in class. Then I have the language. In this case, everything is in English, so I will go for Sophie, United Kingdom. But I could also use the multilingual, and they have a lot of languages. And then I click on save and copy the link and show you what the student sees. Here is the greeting that we had before. All of that things that came out, it was of course editable. So all this part that came out when I created a chat box, all of those were editable, and I can still edit later on. So I can click on edit and go back and edit if there's something that is actually not. So here, hello, welcome to your clothing shop. I'm here to help you find the clothes, practice English. What would you like to do today? Look for shirt, pants, or dress, and blah, blah, blah. And so here I can have my role play. And in here, on the teacher side, I can always look at the chats that my student had with the chatbot. So I can always review what happened in the chat later on and see how did it go. So that's why I really like this tool. And remember that it's not just this, but you could not just role play, but it could be, you could also ask the chatbot to act like, I don't know, an historical figure. So they could chat with someone famous. Of course, it's better if you give them some material so the discussion is limited to certain type of information. But it's a very good tool for them to practice the language or to correct some homework, or for example, we saw the women rights movement, we saw the climate change. We could upload to this article and ask the chatbot to discuss with our student about this topic. Now that we saw all of these things, I just want to show you, because I have the premium version. There are different subscription, but the good part, although of course with the premium version you have a lot more things and less restrictions, you still have a lot of things to do with the free version. So when you start with the free version, you can try out most of the feature that I showed you. There is a few things that are a little bit different. For example, the teaching resources finder, you won't have it in the free version, and the AI image generator as well. So there are things that you cannot do with the free. But because you still have the quizzes, the chatbot, and other interesting feature with the free version, you can start using it for free, practices in your class. And if you see that this is really saving your time, and I'm sure it will, because it did with me, then you will be able to decide if you want to go for a pro or for a premium later on. And that's the key, because other apps, often the free version lets you do so little things that it's difficult to understand if you actually like the app, if you actually find it useful in your everyday job. With this one, with the free version, you will be able pretty much to figure it out, if it's worth it for you to go to the pro or to the premium. So that's it. I hope you like this video, and that you like this app as much as I love it. And that's it. See you to the next video. Bye bye.